Yeah, just
it's like a gong.
All right, so Homeroom, we all flew in not too long ago. You know, we've been experiencing the LA lifestyle. Shout out to AD, you know what I'm saying? He's been making sure we good out here.
Literally.
Don't make that face.
You know,
he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Hating because you weren't in the club with us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You didn't have any San Diego-esque experiences?
That sounds a little.
I don't understand the context of that.
I don't think I want one of those.
No, we've been extremely good.
Down on his booty in front
We've
of the
been extremely great. You know,
sounds good.
So, but yeah, man, we've been doing everything with LA, connecting with people, Adam, you know, AD, and everything. So AD took us to this LA function, which is like the top of the summer. I guess one of the biggest parties of LA. And while we're there, we chilling, we having a good time. Niggas is popping bottles. We doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then we hear on the announcement, a hip hop legend is in the building. Elliott Wilson. I said, what? All of us said, nigga, who's in the building?
The crowd went silent.
Oh my God, Elliott. Oh my God.
There was a gust.
Yeah. Everybody started,
Nigga, we looked up, but we have history with Elliott. Elliott was the first person of major notoriety to ever post Homeroom University.
Oh, well, yeah. He's got a real spray and pray attitude towards Instagram.
Yes, he does.
No jumping
Twitter,
back. He kind of makes us pale in comparison. He just posts one.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time. I say something on here and it's like, oh shit, it's a reel. That's crazy.
Yeah. So Elliott was the very first person with any sort of notoriety in media, hip hop or whatever that posted us. And we called his work 1950s. What was it?
We said it was old and bland.
Yeah, we said it was old and bland, and we said it was commercial. We were kind of shitting on
his podcast
and his style of content.
Yeah.
So he posted us in his Elliott fashion with no context, just like posted it, and he posted a long chunk. So there's several things we saluted at the time period. He didn't cut off our lower thirds, so niggas were able to find us, kind of get at us. You know what I'm saying? Like
we got rebuttal.
Yeah. Several people replied, you know, Twitter is his stomping ground. So it was a feeding frenzy in terms of like Twitter, you know?
He put the opinion up and it was fair. He left it up to the court of public opinion.
And he's like a real hip hop journal head. Like, does he respect you?
So
who do you look for respect for outside of Joe Budden?
Nobody. I don't care about anybody. But no, in terms of Elliott, it's like, okay, we always like had this relationship where like I had been following him forever and would like message him praise or whatever. And then I feel like he caught feelings when I did an interview with Van Lathan. I might just be making this up, but I did an interview with Van Lathan, and on it, I basically was talking about, because Van was doing a little bit of a devil's advocate thing to me during that interview, and I was saying something about how Elliott was like the fucking the number one person in hip hop media when I was 19, which is a fact. Anybody who remembers his Double XL run, he was the only fucking show in town. Like the Source became irrelevant because they killed it so hard.
Right.
And I basically acknowledged that, and then Lathan immediately tries to turn it into, oh, so you're saying he's irrelevant now?
Gotcha.
And I was like,
good podcast.
No, I mean, I would say that like he's not as relevant now. Like obviously he's just like one of many dozens of other people who have podcasts. So I don't know if he felt some kind of way about that, because then Laura said, oh, do you want to get Elliott Wilson on the podcast? I said, yeah. Is he coming through? Yeah, let's do it. And then she's like, he wants 10 grand.
Oh shit.
So I mean, that's basically a no, right? Because it's like, never in a million years would anyone ever make anywhere close to that from an Elliott Wilson interview. No offense, Elliott, but like, I actually searched it up. I'm like, maybe he does like insane numbers on podcasts. I searched it up. He's like 100K, like every interview he's ever done, like on somebody else's platform or less. So it's like, I don't know. I definitely took that as like, whoa, that's
that was kind of that, like,
I guess you just said
you paid if you want to, but it's really kind of a fuck you.
I took it as a fuck you.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. Yeah. But you know, we brought this up to say it's Big Elliott around here from now on. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck it is.
It's bigger Elliott.
It's bigger Elliott. Elliott. Out of everybody that we've encountered, that we've talked to, Elliott was on he was on some G shit. I ain't gonna hold you. Elliott was like, because when I seen him, pretty much anytime we're in an area and we're around the people that we've talked about, I try to make sure I'm going up to them immediately. You know what I mean? especially if we talk good or bad, honestly, but especially if we talk bad.
But
You know
if
what
you've
I'm saying?
talked crazy about them, you don't have any, because you know, like normal people, when you see somebody that you've talked shit about online in the club, you like don't want to go talk to them.
Yeah, but we don't talk.
But that is some
I don't
hoe
think,
ass shit.
I don't think.
Crazy
Yeah, we
shit.
don't talk that crazy. The
And
jokes we might have just joked for way too long.
Like when I met
know what I'm
Rick
saying?
Ross the other day, like
Yeah.
or maybe a month ago or something. Well, actually, it was before the Drake and Kendrick thing, so like 2 months ago.
How were you?
Huh?
Is how high were you?
I was maybe.
You went from the other day to maybe a month ago.
No, it was like at the Pornhub Awards. Well, I'm saying it was before the Kendrick and Drake shit, so it had to be before whatever. Anyway, I fucking go up to him and I'm talking to him, just like saying what up, and it really helped that like one of his security guards was like a fucking big fan / like nose whack and all this shit. So that was like easy way to say what up to him, and I kind of got that vibe as I was talking to him of like, I don't know what the fuck I said about this dude on
Right,
the podcast over the years, and then take the No Jumper Instagram account. Because somebody
That's a force in itself.
somebody here
Yeah.
pointed out, like, yo, you know that there was like mad posts about Rick Ross having a fake watch or some shit. And I'm like, oh, wow, I did not even think about that at all.
Yeah, that's
like
one of
you
the
right-
things. Yeah, that. Go ahead.
I was about to say, it feels like he probably feels like you writing all these articles personally and shit. So it's just like it's coming directly from you.
He follows No Jumper and leaves comments on our posts sometimes, but like I've DM'd him once or twice and he's never responded, and he
Gotcha.
doesn't follow me back. And also, like with all these rappers, it would be a very reasonable assumption to think maybe he's not running his own Instagram account a large percentage of the time.
Yeah, true.
So you really don't
Depending
know
on if
how
it's-
much they know.
If it's funny, it's definitely him though. Like that's how I judge it.
But if you
approach is
really
so
are rich,
natural.
you were gonna pay somebody funny to fucking run your Twitter or to
That's a good
like
point,
I don't
too.
believe that Sexy Red is running her own Twitter. She's too
Probably
in there.
not. Yeah,
Like, I know this bitch got other shit going on.
Right.
But it's just too
Right.
much.
True.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's her nails are too long for that shit. But a nigga like Rick Ross is so authentic. He's getting on Instagram Live and there's no script. He's just talking.
No, totally. But it's like it would also not surprise me if he has an assistant who's leaving emojis on posts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because on Snapchat. Oh, I don't need anybody to tell me why G's not running his own fucking Snapchat when they're
Right.
posting like reels of him walking down the street in Oakland from like 6 months ago. Like it just happened and shit. And I'm like, but hey, I mean, you can't, like nobody could run all their fucking social media platforms.
It's impossible.
It's a
That's
full-time
terrible.
job. It's
Yeah,
like
that is
actually a
a
full-time job. It's tough if
Facts.
you're a rapper,
Yeah, that's a fact. So look, going back to that story with the Elliott thing, before y'all even came over. So like as we're leaving, I tried to go up there when he was on stage. I missed him. I couldn't find him. But as we're leaving the function, he's like right there. Like I'm passing by, he's right there. And I said, fucking perfect. Mind you, I'm a little lit at this point too. You know what I'm saying? So I said, yo, Elliott, shake my hand. Most of the time I always try to go in. I don't try to dap people up immediately, especially if I know if I talk shit about them. Try to go in for just a professional handshake first. Because we might not be on dap energy first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you don't want to set yourself up
I
for
don't want to.
failure.
I don't want to just come off fake. Like I'm gonna dap you up like we homies, but I've definitely kicked your back in. So like, we did the whole handshake, and then I said, "Yo, I'm AJ the Menace," and he was like, "Okay," and then I was like, "No, you know me. Like you posted us before." And then he squeezed my shit. We squeezed it just like extra hard at the same time. He said, "Yeah, I know who you are." I said, "Yeah, that's me." Yeah. It was like that. We're like locked in. He's like
Like you mean
he
your
was
girl?
like, you young brothers got to put some respect on my name. I said, yeah, that's fine. That's why I'm here talking to you about this right now. Like, because it was his initial post, but I went full troll afterwards. So like he made his initial post, no context. I took the clip that he posted and chopped it up and clowned us, but doubled down on the shit that we were saying about him, and then he blocked us.
That's revisionist history.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
That's
So,
revisionist history.
Saying what up to somebody who blocked you is tight.
Yeah,
No, I actually really respect your fucking cojones for even being down to do that.
Yeah, but I respect that this shit got intense for a second. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? It was literally like, yo, what's up? Yeah. Oh, that's you. Oh, what's up? Yeah. I said, yeah, that's me. Yeah. And then
That's some grown man shit.
Yeah.
It's real disdain right there. Like you gotta
Yeah.
understand when Elliott first did that shit, he got on the pod immediately. Like we had just saw it, so he
Yeah.
didn't even have time to process it emotionally.
Yeah,
he was like,
Elliott was the first
Elliott
person to
talking
catch
shit?
me slipping too.
Yeah.
Emotionally. You know what I'm
like one of
saying? On the microphone, because when he had posted that shit, I thought it was just Twitter. Then I go on Instagram, he did the same shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was like, hit the fucking button. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, these niggas just pissed me off. These OGs are trying to shit on us while we trying to come in the game. What had fucked me up initially was like, our first time getting major recognition, it was an OG shitting on us. That bothered me at first. By the time the next day happened, I'm like, oh, I'm playing offense.
It was a
now.
little emotional, but it was fine though.
But we
Accountability.
worked- Yeah, it was perfect though, you know? But Yeah, then Elliott kind of went on this mini rant right after y'all pulled up. And he was like, yeah, no, I respect what you, he was like, I respect what y'all do. I'm not gonna say everything he said. I respect what y'all do, but I fucking built this shit. You know, I said, hey, I'll just let him get his shit off. We're still holding each other, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you do with old men.
Yeah, let him get his shit off though, you know what I'm saying?
His nap time.
And then they pulled up, and then he was like,
it was the same type of vibe.
Yeah, it was still, because they pulled up on that higher energy, because they were like, yo, where's that? AD was like, bro, he's over there talking to Elliott Wilson right now. And just to like not try to exaggerate how kind of intense this interaction that we had, the security was like, are y'all gonna be good? I said, we're fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna be good. So yeah, Elliott was on some, that was the most gangster pull up that I've had.
Security came over because he was raising his voice, or was it just like a vibe?
I think we had that energy with each other where it was just, we didn't know where we were going next. You know what I'm saying? We knew it wasn't about to be no fucking moment, but it was still like, if you're security, you could read people's body language. These two motherfuckers are intense on each other.
Yeah. Do you think that if you had 21 Savage's demeanor, that it would have turned into a physical situation? Like, you know that basketball clip that has been going viral the last 24 hours of 21, where the fool like is like turning up on him. He's like, oh, you want some gangster shit? Like, because I'm just saying, like, you or Elliott don't seem like the type of person that's going to throw a punch quickly. But you think that if you were a little bit more easily offended, that it might have got to a much higher degree?
Whoa. We're not just going to let that slide. You can definitely throw a punch faster.
I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to do it in a professional situation unless it's like extremely costly. You come out very professional.
I'm not in ability.
That's my goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done bullshit plenty of times, but I'm not approaching any business situation or possible business situation with that at all.
If you were to
especially if I plan on staying in this industry,
you know, if you were to get in a physical situation with someone like Elliott Wilson, it would follow you for many years in your career.
It would be the corniest shit, because it would probably be me jumping out the window first. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're way too early in your career to do that.
I think if Elliott was like, if Elliott really had disdain for us, I think he might have been more lit or hype on me. But it was like, we just had like that, look, bro, I understand what you do, but you and your little niggas, y'all gonna have to put some respect on it. He Birdman me. You know what I'm saying? That's essentially what the situation was. It was like a 2.5 minute interaction of straight Birdman.
You feel like you tucked your tail?
No,
he didn't take his absolutely not. He just doesn't want to be cellmates with Tax Stone.
Yeah.
Exactly. You think he was going to go there?
Fuck.
Not go there, but that's what I'm saying.
Did he show you his gun?
You do some hot-headed shit. Don't fall for the tricks. Don't fall for the tricks. He's not going to take my joke and turn it
you already said that?
into a headline. Shout out Tex.
AJ the Menace on if Elliott Wilson showed him his gun.
That'd have been crazy. But
I'm not in charge of the titles on this one.
But no,
I like what he's doing to our podcast.
Like this is the first time this ever happened.
I don't like what he's doing to our podcast. We need to take more rain of this shit.
Wow.
What the fuck?
No, but okay, you know what this makes me think of is when QC ran down on Joe Budden at the mall and basically were like, you're going to put some respect on Lil Yachty.
I think that's what, and then we saw part two.
Was it giving that?
Yeah, because
we don't know, but possibly because we never saw it. Because it feels like the whole mall situation was like a respectful man-to-man thing too.
Right. But it was also probably like a, if you don't comply with what we're saying, we're going to beat the fuck out of you at some point.
Possibly, because we don't know how they pulled up. He was in Atlanta. Joe was in Atlanta. QC, they just feel like it's 20 minimum anytime you do run into one of them. You know what I'm saying? And Joe feels like a solo shopper. You know what I'm saying? Like him and maybe his girl or some shit like that.
Him going to buy a belt alone in Atlanta is insane.
That sounds like
if I go to Atlanta right now, I'm only seeing the hotel room without security.
But to put context on that, he was just running to get a belt real quick because they had to do that.
He was running in and out.
It do be like that.
Yeah.
I thought he had to get some socks or something, but regardless, he ran into the wrong niggas.
I saw 21 going to Macy's by himself one time.
Macy's is a safe place.
Depends on what Macy's you're at.
I was with Lil Pump. It was weird. But it was from like a weird distance where we were like. But he was like hella far away, so it was almost like you couldn't even tell.
You could have been any white dude.
And this was a long time ago too, but yeah.
But shout out to Elliott though.
Yeah, shout out to Elliott.
Because we did disrespect his legend. Because I had essentially my idea was that what you did before I was conceived doesn't really matter to me. But then after he posted us, I did my research. I was like, oh shit, like okay.
Yeah, because like in the hip hop media world, it's totally fine to like have a knowledgeable take about somebody and dismiss them as a result, but to like just not be aware of somebody's contribution and then kind of write them off, I feel like is like a serious sin, you know?
But I do hope that we can have a sit down. We did exchange contact information and stuff like that. So I hope next time I'm in New York or something, we can link up and do something. Cause I feel like a real conversation still would be good to be had or whatever. But I will put more respect on it because I was just clowning this nigga like he was irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
even though I know he wasn't. So. I know he isn't. But at the same time, I'm like,
it's in the context of now. Right. Not like what he did for XXL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And at the same time, that's not about to change like criticism on like
how boring you are.
Or just like, the quality of the show. You know what I'm saying? Like the intros to the Rap Radar podcast are always going to be hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter how much respect I put on his legacy, that's always going to be the funniest part.
It's like meta humor. We're not laughing with him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you even watched it?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What, are there weird intros?
Like,
we're not gonna do it.
What's the point?
The thing I said to Van Lathan that like could have like I basically acknowledged that I'd never seen his interviews besides the Drake one, which is like, whoa. I mean, I can understand why he wouldn't be a fan of that. But
okay,
because that's not me saying your shit is whack. That's just me saying like I personally haven't really consumed a lot of it because there's so much shit out there.
And I think that's his biggest one. In the new video format era.
Oh, Drake for sure. That's one of the biggest rap interviews ever.
But he was like Jay-Z's like go-to analyst during the paper era. You know what I'm saying? Like writing the articles and stuff like that.
50 Cent, like him and like he was like 50's PR company / magazine. Like the amount of work they put in together was insane. And that was like the last days of print before the internet took over, you know? So it's like the relevant people or like younger people will probably know him from the Drake interview as like the latest form of.
And speaking of interviews,